Hi there, this is Christine Hummel, and we're back at another episode of Root to Rising. I'm excited to have another special guest with me today who's a college student from Clemson University, and we'll shortly toss it over to her for an introduction. But as a reminder, this is a podcast to allow other women to hear stories from other women to gain experience, knowledge, and power to find their true happiness. So I'm going to throw it over to Elle for a quick introduction of yourself. Elle, tell us about yourself.
I'm Elle. I'm a senior at Clemson right now. I'm studying biomedical engineering, and I have a minor in material science engineering. So lots of work, lots of school all the time, but it's awesome. I love it. I'm graduating a semester early. I'm graduating in December. And then recently I just kind of changed my life path with what I want to do with my degree. Weirdly enough, I went into engineering not wanting to be an engineer. I just wanted it because it's a very versatile degree. I could go the medicine route, I could go the law route, I could be an engineer, I could be in sales, just really left the door open. So originally when I came in, I was planning on pre-law. I thought I was going to go to law school, be a patent attorney. And then now I'm kind of switching gears. So after I graduate in December, I'll study for my MCAT and then apply to med school.
That's it? That's all you got
Yeah,
going
that's
on?
all. Yeah.
Gosh. So you have a lot there, right? So maybe talk us through, again, we're trying to give information to females in high school and college that are really trying to figure out what they want to do. It sounds like you started out thinking you wanted to do one thing with pre-med, but you quickly changed. So maybe talk us through in high school what you were thinking when you were going to go to college and why you chose pre-law, and then how hard was it or what did you do to transition over to your current degree?
When I was in high school, I honestly had no idea what I was gonna pick. I was like, how do you decide this? And I went at 17. I graduated high school in 3 years. That's also like made my decision hard because I didn't really know who I was personally. So to figure out who I am academically too and what I want to do for the rest of my life was kind of a big thing. But I'm all about like purpose and finding your passion, not necessarily just what you're good at, but what you're passionate about. So I always loved biology. I loved those classes. I found myself like Googling things on my own outside of class, trying to learn more, not just in the classroom. So noticing like when you feel that with certain courses, okay, I'm eager to learn more. Maybe this is something I should think about pursuing. So I think that's how I landed on biomedical engineering. I'm also I'm a critical thinker. I like to problem solve. So that's where the engineering came in. I knew I didn't want to just do biology. And then at the beginning, I'm also very argumentative and stubborn. So I was like, I would be a great attorney. Like, I'm a great writer. This would be awesome. So I kind of thought that's what I was going to do. I thought I was going to take my engineering degree, apply to law school, be a patent attorney, and all was going to be good. And then I had an internship 2 summers ago downtown Chicago at a law firm, and amazing firm, amazing people. I met some incredible attorneys, incredibly talented. Um, and I just didn't feel like there was no fire in my soul for what I was doing. I was good at it. I could probably be good at it in a career, but it just gave me no fire. So that's when I kind of was reassessing and was like, maybe I should take this more seriously. This is what I'm going to be doing for 40 plus years. So if I'm at this internship and I'm already in 3 months feeling like maybe I shouldn't do this. So I just took some time, and then about around this time last year, I had a really close family member go through a really like intense medical situation, had an intense procedure about a year ago. And after that, I just remember thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that there's people who spend so much time, so many sacrifices, go through all that school to help people like my family member. So that's kind of was the pivotal point for me that made me switch to pre-med. It was always a thought in the back of my mind, but I never wanted to commit to it. Selfishly, I was like, I don't want to go to school for 4 years of med school, 3+ years of residency, then fellowship. Like it's insane. But after that happened, I was like, you know what? If this is really what I feel fuels my soul and I can make even one person feel, I didn't even meet this doctor and I felt immense gratitude for them and their schooling and all the sacrifices they made. So if I can make someone feel like that with my career and my skills and my passions and my heart, that's what I'm going to do. So that was like the switch moment where I was like, I don't care about the schooling. I need to do what my heart and my soul like lead me to, I guess.
Was it hard to make the switch? Like, was it like the next day you woke up and that was the decision, or were you kind of toggling back and forth for months and you had to talk to people to help support you make that decision?
I would say I did toggle back and forth with it, but I would say after that, it was kind of like a no-brainer, like, it was just a switch, but then I kind of had, like, an "Oh, shit" moment
You
of,
could swear.
"Oh my gosh, like, this is I'm committing myself to like, this is
Yeah.
not just, 'Oh, we're gonna go to med school, it's gonna be great and dandy,' like, no, you're committing yourself to, like, 12 years of school." So I
Yeah.
kind of had a little moment where I was like, "What did I just do?" And, like, I went back it was right around course registration time too, so I registered for all the pre-med classes and yeah, but I feel really good about my decision, and I got the opportunity to shadow a couple surgeons this summer, and it was just
It's awesome.
incredible, fascinating, so I'm really excited. But some of the surgeons did try to talk me out of it.
I
There's
bet
that too.
there's a yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I think when you commit to be a doctor to all the reasons you're talking about, you do it for a personal or a passionate reason. It's a super hard career, and but we need doctors in the world, right?
Yeah.
So,
I
we're
also
thankful
think,
for the
like,
people that
as a
do it.
female, there's a lot of
Yep,
pushback as a female as well, and I just wanna make sure I say that for anyone who's listening,
you
maybe
should.
wants to pursue medicine. You're gonna hear a lot of people I mean, I just decided this switch about a year ago, so I haven't even
Yep,
been hasn't been in my mind for a while, but well, it's been in my mind, but I haven't been actively pursuing
yep,
it for a while, and I've already gotten a lot of pushback. Even during shadowing some of the surgeries, they were like, "You're gonna have a hard time having kids. You're not gonna be able to have kids till you're
my
40."
gosh.
Like, yeah, I mean, and that's it's not just that hospital, like, you'll hear that everywhere. Even, like,
Yep.
advisors and school counselors will be like, "You need to really think about this, like, you can't have it all." Like,
Wow.
maybe not word for word like that, but they tell you you're gonna have a hard time getting married, you're gonna be so busy, your kids
Oh
aren't gonna
my
like you because you're not gonna
gosh.
be home. Like, those are a few things that I've heard already, and I'm not even into it. So it's just like, if you're passionate about something, and this goes for things that aren't medicine too, if you're passionate about
Yep,
something, there's gonna be pushback when you're a
yep,
female no matter what.
no matter what.
Like, stay laser focused and kind of keep those opinions out because
Yep.
you will figure it out. If that's what you truly want to do and you do wanna have a family and you wanna get married, everything will figure itself out if you just stay focused and stay passionate, I
So
think.
2 comments. You'll have to watch next Wednesday. I have Phyllis, who is a retired she's in the biotech healthcare. She went to college, she's in her 60s. She went to college and she wanted to be a doctor.
Mhm.
And when she went to college, her professor told her that females should not be physicians and she should be a pharmacist instead.
Yeah.
And she became a pharmacist. And to this day, I asked her on the podcast, I said, "Do you have regrets that you didn't push through it and stay on track to be a physician?" And she said, "Every day."
Yeah.
So
And I've even been
broke my
asked,
heart,
like
broke my heart.
yeah, and I have been asked, like, "Well, what about PA school?
Yeah,
Less of a commitment, you still get to whatever," and I'm like, "But that's not what I want to do. I'm telling you I want to be a doctor. I'm not telling you I wanna be a PA." And I know some of it's just advice and making sure you're aware of the challenges because
yeah.
it's people don't say that for no reason. It is challenging, but I don't know,
Do you
it's
think
just
people say that to men?
no, no, because I don't think as a man you have an expectation that
Yep,
I feel like as a female, especially around like the family subject, like you have an expectation that you're going to be the
yep,
one supporting the family emotionally. So
yep.
whereas the man has the role of supporting the family financially, and that's
Mhm,
just like the traditional view of it. So I think they don't really worry about the mental toll it's going to take on the man because they don't think that he
mhm.
owes any emotional availability or whatever to his family.
Little do they know we could do like 500 things at one time
Yeah.
and be connected to everyone and be thinking about everything, right? But
Yeah.
so you make it sound I love the advice, right? So just, keep going through it. And a lot of other women I've interviewed have said the same thing, like keep plowing through it, but people make it sound really easy. And for a lot of
Mhm.
younger women out there today, high school, college, just starting out getting that's confidence that you're portraying, but not many people have that yet. You say
Mhm.
Just go for it, people are going to tell you not to do it, it's one person's point of view." How do you do that? Like, what advice do you give people? Even the simplest thing, not even going to be a doctor as a female, like, let's go something more basic, like you went to Clemson, which is what, like 11 hours from your hometown.
Mhm.
You did something different. Most people don't like to go 2 to 3 hours outside of their, hometown to college. So, what advice or how would you tell high school students or college students to gain confidence? And just because one person says no, or many people say no, how do they continue to push through it?
I would say 2 things. 1, no one knows what goes on in your head and the conversations
Mm-hmm.
you have with yourself and your passions and your drives. So what
Mm-hmm.
they tell you shouldn't be a reflection on then what you go forward and do with your actions. You should think about other people's opinions and take them into consideration, but ultimately, what someone else says shouldn't be your action point. That should come from yourself. And then the other thing I would say about confidence is just like any relationship, you need to talk to yourself positively. I feel like that's the biggest thing for me. With your spouse, if you're constantly negative to them, you're going to drive apart. Your friendships, if you're talking bad to them, you're not spending time with them, you're not pouring into them, you're not going to be friends anymore. And it's the same thing with ourselves. And I feel like a lot of people kind of forget about that. Like you need to take time for yourself and your relationship with yourself. You need to talk to yourself positively. You need to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in your friends and you tell them they can't do that, you're not going to be friends with them. So why would you tell yourself that? You need to have a good relationship with yourself too. And I think that I wouldn't say when I came to college I felt that way or realized that, but I think that's
Mm-hmm.
something that's grown over time and just realizing like, hey, I need to be more positive. Like, and also realizing that there's going to be highs and lows. I'm not confident
Yep.
every single day. It's kind of like a stock. It goes up and
Yep.
down.
The average or
So,
the average. Yeah. You
yeah.
try your best every day. You take the average, and at the average, you're confident. Yeah, you're winning.
Yeah.
So what was the like when you went to college, you talked about you weren't always like that, right? So you went to
Mhm.
college. What were you like when you went to college? Did you have the same confidence? And then kind of what was like the biggest surprise for you when you got to college to be like, wow, I thought this was gonna happen, but it didn't. Or I thought this was the path that was gonna go, but I'm shocked that this didn't happen or did happen.
So, I definitely did not have the same confidence. I turned 17 in April and I went and left 12 hours away in August. So, I was a baby, but I was coming from a really low point, honestly, because
Mm,
freshman year, I went to a private high school. Sophomore
mm-hmm.
year, at the end of my freshman year was COVID. Then I transferred to a public high school, and then the next year I graduated. So, I was in this really kind of like fragile emotional state where I mean, I wasn't fragile, but I had my stuff together. But on the inside, I was feeling like I had a hard time building solid friendships and connections because my life
Mm,
was so I'm at this school, then I'm at this school, then it's COVID, then I'm gone. So
yep.
building those long-term solid friendships was really hard for me. So I internalized a lot of that and was like, what's wrong with me? Like no one likes me. This like no one
Mm,
wants to spend time with me. When really I just didn't have the time to form those connections. I wasn't in one place for long enough.
mm-hmm.
So that really took a toll on my confidence too. And then when I got to college, I kind of thought that it would be the same way. I thought I would have a
Mm,
really hard time making friends just because I internalized all these feelings from high school. And then I realized like people really like me and I have a great group of friends that I've had for all 4 years.
yeah.
And I don't think that I like gave myself enough credit for who I was. Like I'm a kind person. I'm
Yep.
fun, I'm intelligent, I'm motivating, I'm supportive. And I don't think that's not what I was telling myself at the time. So I think that's what I expected to happen. I thought I would have a
Mm-hmm.
hard time making
Huh.
connections, but it was really quite the opposite. I just put myself out there. I went to everything. I always said
Huh.
yes, and
Huh.
it paid off. And I have the same friends all 4 years, and they're awesome.
So do you think when you went to college, did you try to act different? Knowing what you knew that,
Hmm.
you were in like, quick 3 years and you were never in one place long enough to make friends. Did you show up differently in college with a different perspective to say, I'm really going to try to be intentional. I'm going to try to connect with people. I'm going to try to have, surround myself with some good friendships. Did you intentionally do something different?
Yeah, I would say I just came in with this is a fresh start.
Yeah.
What my life has been like in the past doesn't need to be what it's like moving forward. And I kind of gave myself some grace.
Mm.
It's okay. You're nothing's wrong with you. Just be yourself. And I think that the best advice someone's ever told me about the whole being yourself thing is no one thinks about you as much as you think about
That's
you.
right.
And
That's
no
right.
one cares about you as
No
much as
one
you
cares.
care about you. So, I think my mom told me that. My mom, I mean, you know my
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
She
Very
doesn't
well.
coddle at all. So she's very tough love. So one day I think I was upset and she was like, "No one cares about you as much as you care about you." And that stuck with me because no,
That's
it's
true.
so true. So once you kind of let go of other
Yeah.
people's opinions, because you can't control them anyways, so there's
Mm-mm.
no point in sitting there being thinking about what other people are thinking. So I think I just came in with that mentality, like, just be yourself and the right people will stick and the other ones will fall off.
And it is true because people just worry about themselves so much. And I mean, we're very selfish human beings, right?
Mhm.
And the most important person is yourself, right? And you
Yeah.
care and think about yourself more than anyone else in the world. So, agreed. And to have people think, well, what does that person think of me or what am I going to look like in front of them? No one gives a shit. Like everyone's
No.
got their own shit going on. They're
Yeah.
more probably worried that you're seeing them or you're talking to them, like, just forego it and don't care.
Mhm.
And you're right, like, it's in our head, and we're the ones that know what makes us the happiest, so just allow yourself to do what you wanna do, what's in your head, what makes you happy, and forego the rest. I mean, still be
Right.
kind and respectful of
Yeah.
others, right? But, no one else knows what's gonna make you happy, just you, right?
Yeah.
So you have to stay true to that, to your previous comment, and no matter if someone tells you something different or gives you a different perspective, it has to be the right decision for you. Yeah. So when you went to college, you went far away. You were 17. You graduated high school early. Were you scared when you went to college?
Like, saying it now, I'm like, "My gosh, like, how did my parents let
How
me
did I
do
do
that? And how did
that?
I do that?"
Yeah.
At the time, I was really excited, honestly. I was really
Hmm.
excited for that clean slate and to just and honestly excited to be far away because I had
Yeah.
nothing besides my family, like, wanting me to stay home, but I just wanted my own thing, like, I didn't wanna go
Yeah.
to U of I didn't wanna be where everyone else was, I wanted my own bubble, my own little world down
Good
there,
for you.
and I just took the leap, and no, I don't think I was scared, though, at the time. I think I was more
Good.
excited, but looking back, it's kind of scary to think about.
Do you think if COVID didn't happen, it would you would have had a different experience during high school and you would have had a different perspective and different decisions going to college? Or do you think it would have been the same? Because you're in the state of Illinois, where essentially
Mhm.
we shut down for a year. We were all at home. There was no social interaction. To your point, you kind of skipped a year of high school, right?
Yep.
So do you think it would have been different if you didn't have COVID?
As far as the graduating early aspect, I'm not sure because my reasoning for graduating early was I took
Hmm.
a ACT exam freshman year. We had to take like the pre-ACT at my private high school that I went to, and I did really well in it. So I got an ACT tutor. I was like, "I'll just take this, get it over with sophomore year." Again, don't know what I was thinking, like, "You're 15, slow down." But I did, and my ACT tutor, I was doing really well in my exams, and he was like, "Have you ever considered graduating
Hmm.
early?" And that's kind of what sparked that whole thing. So that I'm not sure, maybe, but the whole friends, environment situation,
Yep.
I think would have been completely different because freshman year, I had half the year, and then it was
Yep.
in March, it was COVID. Then I came to the public high school. We were home. It was online. And then finally it started opening back up again, but then we're in masks. So it's like
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
awkward. And then I danced, obviously you know that, and I danced in high
Yes.
school, and that was, like, my only social time that I had to, like, hang out
Yeah.
with girls my age. So, I think I would have had a lot different experience,
Yeah.
and maybe it would have made me stay another year if I was having a good time,
Yeah.
but I was so ready to get out, and academically, I was prepared to get out, so maybe, I don't know.
Or you could look at it too, though, as if you had a different mindset going into college, maybe you wouldn't have found the connection of
Yeah,
friends that you have now because you didn't shift it. You didn't look differently upon yourself. So you wouldn't have the
yeah,
friends you have now, right?
yeah,
So
that's
to
true
go back
too.
to something you keep saying, it's interesting because we talk about you wanting to be a physician and you're a
Mhm.
female and everyone's like putting that label on you like, are you sure you're supposed to have kids? You have all these other responsibilities, right? You can't do all the things at one time. But you keep saying your age, right? So you keep
Yeah.
saying you took the ACT at 15. You keep labeling yourself with the age. You
Yeah.
graduated at 17. You went to college at 17. But if your brain and your body and everything else emotionally, socially, maybe you had to catch up, but you were ready to go. I don't think just like being a female or male, age doesn't matter either, right? Like
Yeah.
your brain was ready to move to the next. Your counselor probably told you that because he or she knew you were going to be bored in high school.
Yeah.
And so to continue to push yourself, don't care about the age. If you're ready at
Yeah.
whatever point of your life for anything, and that reverses it too. If you need more time, let's say in college or whatever you're doing, grad school, that's okay too. Everyone's different. So it's
Right.
interesting you keep saying your age, but like
Yeah.
you're ready. When you're ready, right?
It's funny that you say that because I do that a lot, and it's funny that you notice that, and I think that comes from just being like, that's just something I feel insecure about, and I don't know
Mm,
why,
mm,
but it's just like I mean, even, like, every birthday, I'm like, "Oh, I'm finally catching up to my friends because 'cause they're all a year older than me," and it's so weird, I don't know why I feel that way, but I just
hmm,
like, feel this it's almost this sense of, like, people have inferiority over
yeah.
me because I'm younger, but I know that's not true, I just, like that's a little thing that I just still learning to be
Yeah,
okay with.
it's like actually it's the reverse because actually you were, intelligent enough to go faster and to have all these tests and to do well. So it should be flipped. Until you get to be
Yeah.
21, age really doesn't matter after that,
Yeah.
right? Like there's
Yeah.
nothing to catch up to.
Yeah,
But that's
that's true.
interesting that you feel that way. So throughout your high school and I think probably more in college, like you had some significant decisions you made
Mhm.
about your major, about your career, you transitioned. Do you have people, mentors, friends, professors, like people that really you went to, or maybe you didn't go to them, but they noticed something in you and they reached out to you and they supported you? Can you just tell us a little bit about was that important to have people that are not necessarily your cheerleaders, but just help you point out things in a different perspective that maybe you weren't seeing and supported you in making some of those hard decisions?
Yeah, I would say from a life perspective, my parents have been really helpful just because 'cause they've been through a lot more than obviously my
Yeah.
peers have, so they have a lot more insight and perspective. So when I get all stressed out, like, "Oh, I'm gonna be in school for X amount of years," they're like, "Okay, well, you're gonna be working for 40, so it'll be okay. You'll have plenty of time to be not in school." I'm like, "Okay."
Correct.
But when I did make the switch from decided deciding to go to med school after thinking I was gonna go to law school, my friends were honestly really supportive and really helpful
Huh.
because some of them had either already taken their MCAT or planning on taking the MCAT, so they know not only the academic kind of strain it is to go through this process, but also the mental toll. It's really hard to stay the
Uh-huh.
MCAT's a really long exam. You have to study for anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So the mental strain to keep
Yeah.
doing that every single day is really taxing, and you don't really understand unless you've gone through it. So I would say that that's really important, like, finding people that understand what you're going through and can support you and not compete with you is really
Yep.
important. Like, my friends are very successful, all of them. I had one that just had an internship with the NBA. She's, like,
That's
doing their
awesome.
marketing and then one at a big accounting firm in New York, another, like, at a I think she's doing speech pathology, she was at a big clinic, like, they're all super successful, and I would say something that is really nice in our friend group is we all drive each other and motivate each other, and nothing gets competitive. We don't feel like,
Mhm.
"I need to be doing more because you're doing this." We're all separate and happy for each other, so I would
Yep.
say my friends have been
That's a good
the
one.
best.
Yeah. And I brought up in one of my previous podcasts, I'm hoping that this generation is more supportive, but it's interesting at my age, I'm 51 in my generation. When you're in, a company or you have another female sometimes that's your peer, for some reason it's competitive and it's
Yeah.
not supportive and it's almost like, we've had to work really hard to get to the point that we're at and then
Mhm.
now you have this like these people and it's interesting it doesn't happen with men, but sometimes you run into a woman and it's super competitive and they're just trying to throw you under the bus because they don't
Yeah.
want you to be seen as better than them because you've worked so hard to get there. And I've
Right.
asked a couple of people along the way on my podcast, like, we have to stop doing that and people have to be
Yeah.
more supportive. And why do people do that? Like, we should all be support. There's enough room for
Yeah.
everyone, every female to be successful, right?
Yeah. I think maybe that comes from, like, even especially if you're at the same company and your peers, maybe they think if they see you working hard and being successful, you're gonna take something from
Yep.
them,
Yep.
and I think that's probably where it comes from, but that's, like, back to what I was talking about earlier, like, stay focused on you,
Yep.
everything else needs to be on the
Yep.
outside because that doesn't matter. 2 people can be successful in the same place, and that
That's
makes
right.
the whole company stronger, so why wouldn't
That's
you
right.
want your peers to be successful? So I
That's right.
agree, we need to stop doing that. Everyone needs to stop doing that, man,
Yeah.
woman, young, old.
Yep.
It's
I
just
agree.
it's unnecessary.
And I also think the word successful is going to mean different things to different people, right? So you
Mhm.
have a group of friends that are measuring, they're very driven in their profession and their careers and their college education. Successful might mean something different to someone else if they chose to go a different path, right? Or maybe their success is to raise their children. They choose
Mhm.
not to work and that's the role that they want to take. I also think outside of professional corporations or environments, women have to be supportive of each other no matter what decision you make, right? If you choose to be married, if you choose to not be married, if you choose to have kids, not have kids, work and have kids, it doesn't matter what you want to do. You want to be married to someone of your same sex or you don't. Like, it doesn't matter. Just be supportive because, again, going back to what you said, there's only one person in the world that knows how you're going to be happy, and that's you. So,
Yep.
again, don't care what other people think, but also we need to support everyone to have that individual. Again, everyone's going to be kind and respectful of each other's choices, but be supportive and let that person have their happiness. It would be boring if we were all the same person, right?
Yep.
So, enjoy the diversity and support each other. So I'm glad to hear that your friends already.
Yeah, and like you said, success is different for everybody, and if there was one definition of success, we would all be doing that. So
Right.
clearly there's not one
If we knew the
definition.
answer,
Yeah,
if we
we would
knew
all
the
be doing
answer,
that. Yeah.
we would
So
all be successful, right?
exactly. I don't think success has any, like, monetary
Yeah.
hold. I don't think
Agreed.
it's any sort of profession. Again, like you
Agreed.
said, if you wanna stay at home and just be with your kids, that could be successful for you. I
Agreed.
think it's completely individualized, and
Agreed.
like I said at the beginning, my whole thing is purpose. Find something that fulfills you,
Yep.
and if you do that and you're happy and you're content with your life, that's success to me, is being
Agreed.
fulfilled and being
Agreed.
purposeful.
And I will tell you kind of something that I not struggled with, but it took me a while to find out. And a lot of my friends that are younger, when you are a female and if you choose to have kids and you choose to work, the words work life balance that's not a word you should ever use. Like, it's non
Yeah,
existent. Every family, every person has to find their own balance and their own motivators. There's no, like, I'm going to do this 50% of the time and this 50% of the time. Some days it's going to be 90-10, or the next day it'll be reversed. But you and your family and you as a person have to figure out your balance. You may get motivation and energy by working out, and then you go to work, and that's your balance. You may get motivation from reading. Everyone has different ways to motivate them. And so, for the females out there, especially with a job that's going to take a lot of hours or a lot of school, don't strive to be everything to everyone every day because it
yeah.
doesn't happen. There's days I wake up and I have 105 things that work is firing at me, and I may not talk to my kids that day because I'm focusing on work, right? That's okay. They know I'm still their mom and I'm still
Mhm.
there. The next day, my kids might have 20 different things they need from me, and work sacrifices a little bit, right? So each day you have to make a decision. And I actually I created this rule for myself. The decision I need to make 5 minutes from now, 5 hours from now, 5 days from now, 5 years from now. When it's a tough decision and you don't know in that moment what to do, think about what decisions you'd make at those different points of time. So, would I make the same decision if I made it in 5 hours, 5 days, 5 months, and 5 years? And that helps pull you back to see, who am I going to impact in my life?
Mhm.
if I'm going to make this decision? Is it my boss that's like firing me right now? Or is it my kid that really needs me right now? In 5 years, what's the most important? So that's kind of a good rule of thumb that I use to kind of pull myself back when you're in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I never heard that before, but I
Yeah.
really like the way you phrase that. And I think, like you said, every day is going to be different. I
Yep.
mean, even being a student right now, I don't have anybody dependent on me, but there are still some days where I'm like, I don't want to go to dinner with my friends after a long day, and I
Yeah.
won't. I'll just like, you
Yeah.
need to know yourself and know
Yep.
what you need. And for me, sometimes balance is not
Yep.
going, and I just need
Yep.
me time. And then other days, I'm like, I cannot wait to see them. I need
Yeah.
to
Right.
go. That's my balance.
Right. Right.
And it fluctuates like
Yep.
everything in life.
That's right. Every day is different. So let's go
Yeah.
back a couple more closing questions. So if you were to tell yourself right now, go back to high school, you would tell your high school version of yourself, you'd give that person in this moment in time advice of just how to be in college or what to do differently. If anything, maybe you wouldn't give anything different. What would you tell your high school version of yourself?
I would say to be a sponge. And by
Mm,
that, I mean, this is such a unique time in life where you're surrounded by so many people that are going to go off and do so many different things. So I would say by being a sponge, join all the clubs. Not
yep.
all the clubs, don't burn yourself out, but pick a
Right.
few, join them, see if you like them. If you don't have to stay
Yep.
in them, but just say yes to things,
Mm,
go to everything, especially at the beginning. Go to everything. You need to meet as many people as you can, and some of those friends will stick the whole time, and others will just fizzle out. That's normal, though. You're not gonna be friends with everyone you meet freshman year. But I would say really take advantage. You're only here for 4 years. Like, take everything in, learn about everybody else, be really interested in people's lives, because also connection wise, you might not know
yep.
when you need to reach back out to them. And then also with that, I would say keep a good reputation. Don't Your reputation will follow you forever. So be aware of the choices you're
Mm,
making, how you're treating people, because you might come across somebody in your career and they're like, "Oh, I remember Elle from college and she was not like we're not working with her." Like people remember how you treat
yep.
them and how you make them feel about themselves. So carry yourself in a
Yep.
positive light, be respectful, be kind. And
And
yeah, that's what I would say.
I think that another thing is when you're creating that brand for yourself, that brand will always stick with you. So
Yep.
people will remember how you treated them. People remember the conversation, the connection, and you are always creating your brand no matter who you talk to, right?
Yep.
And I think that's great advice for people in high school and really moving forward to college. One more question I have for you. If you think about what advice you'd give females in high school or college or getting their first job from a confidence perspective and or your comment of how to push people's perspective out of the way to not let them to be a barrier to what you want your ultimate goal or happiness or success to be, what advice would you give someone that's struggling? They don't have confidence. They have everyone pushing against them, but they don't know how to navigate and get through the barriers. What advice would you get them to help give them that confidence?
I would say stop thinking about everything so far in advance. I think that gets really overwhelming and
Mm,
really stressful and can make you feel like you can't tackle that all and it hurts your confidence. And I would just say make each day better than the last. Try to
mm,
improve yourself each day. Whether that's just today, I'm going to work on how I talk to myself. Tomorrow, I might really focus on getting active. I'm going to go on a walk. I'm going to go to the gym. I just every day work towards something that makes yourself better, and you will feel better
yeah.
progressively as the weeks pass.
That's a great point. Day by day, because it's very overwhelming when we think of things long term.
Yeah.
I know you have to plan long term, but just you can plan long term. But when you get overwhelmed, just take that day and get
Yep.
through that day and have that goal be that day. So you give great advice. Say yes to everything, join clubs, be a sponge, support yourself with really good friends, and then just make sure that, if you're scared, continue to move forward because you'll figure it out. So Elle, I want to thank you for joining the Root to Rising podcast. I'm hoping a lot of people listen to your story because you have great experience. You have great wisdom already. At what age are you now?
I'm
What are we?
20 right now, if we're counting.
So at 20 years old. So congratulations. What kind of doctor are you going to be? Or do you know yet?
I don't know. That's the other thing. I'm kind of still I'll figure that out, I guess,
in the
when I get
search?
to when I'm in med school, yeah.
You'll feel it, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Passion, purpose, you'll feel it.
That's right. Well, we're lucky to have you join the
Thanks for
healthcare
having me. It
community.
was a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you, Elle.